Well friends, in today's video I share some vloggy kitchen adventures, some things we're doing in the kitchen. And then I think I have some things to share with you. Okay, stay tuned. Good morning, friends. I am starting this video out with what's Mama cooking up in the kitchen. I've been wanting to get into natural, healthy, fermented, probiotic-rich food. Many of you know I was on a lot of antibiotics in 2021, and there's just some other things going on in myself and some other people in my family. I've been learning that a lot of the issues I have seen, those issues will remain private for this time, but a lot of it gets back to gut health. And so Mama's been learning some things. So I had a quart jar of kefir that was ready and that I used in smoothies yesterday morning. And now is the first time I'm doing 3 jars at once. And so I took, I believe it was 1/4 of a cup from my first batch and put 1/4 of a cup in each one of these jars, and then the rest coconut milk. And I should have enough kefir grains in all of it to make us up some more. Well, friends, don't forget that we are heading towards the tail end of my Super Savings 40 Plus product bundle. I'm calling this one the Massive Mega Bundle because you get over 40 products that are less than $4 each when you purchase this bundle. Each product is valued at $14.99 or higher. So it's a 75% off, limited time, fantastic savings, over $600 value. You get all of my 15 large family freezer meal packs. You get several baking packs, casserole packs, sheet pan meal packs. We got slow cooker meal plans, pressure cooker meal plans, many meal plans, so much more. We got mega muffins, skillet dinners, we got it all. So be sure to click the first link in the description below. Get my massive mega bundle for 75% off right now for a limited time. Yay. And then here is the very first time I am making kombucha. I had a good friend give me a Scroby maybe a year or two ago, or I bought it from her anyway. I didn't finish the project. So what I've been doing to make this easy on myself, on Amazon, there are a lot of great companies that will send you these starters, obviously for a price. So this is fermentholics.com, and in here I have my starter culture, and it even came with the 1-gallon jar and the little, I mean, you don't need all this, but I feel like I need it, right? Because I got a lot going on, but I also want to do this. So what's my easiest entry point? So I've been following the directions on the back this morning. There's our almost boiling water. We're going to do our tea bags, so I'll tell you about that. And then, like, as far as the kefir, see, this is my sourdough one. As far as my kefir, again, I ordered this from Cultures from Health on Amazon. I'll have it linked down below. But what I like about these is, because, you know, doing new things can also feel overwhelming. And these 3 things in particular have been on my list for so long. It's like, okay, I just need my easiest entry point. Again, just came with a little direction book. I could have used quart of milk, juice, coconut milk, coconut water, and 1 packet of the kefir starter, and then cover with coffee filter or cloth, secure rubber band, let it sit 72 to 74 for 12 to 18 hours. And basically from there you use it, and you can, there's a lot of recipes and such. There's their website is there. You can reculture your kefir 2 to 7 times within 7 days. Just interesting. I'm learning about it. So again, it's the first time I'm doing 3 at one time. Also random onion over there. And then the other thing I was getting started was my sourdough. Also from Cultures for Health. And they have, this is a whole wheat one. many different types that you can get, and I know there's a ton of sourdough things online, but there's their site. And again, this is how this feels possible in my head right now to at least allow me to get started. So then this tea is just supposed to seep for a few minutes. Alrighty, so I'm going to take my tea bags out, and then I stir in a cup of sugar and let that dissolve. Okay, so then the directions here. So we added the sugar, it dissolved, add sweetened tea mixture to a gallon jar and fill with cool water. Leave enough space to add your culture, about 3 to 4 inches. So this is what we're going to do now. And I see the temperature 77. It says temperature should be between 75 and 78 before the next step. So I'm going to open this now. Again, I will have the link down below if you're interested in trying my step into this gently method. Again, with the kefir, I've been doing that for several weeks now, but I've only been doing 1 jar at a time. Okay, and this is what it looks like when you take it out. And this is the important part that's floating there. And I know my one friend jokes and says, you know, it makes babies. You'll have other ones that grow. Again, Mama here's learning. Hey, can you hand me the scissors, sweetie? Whatever sweetie's behind me, hand me scissors. You're all sweeties. I'm going to open this up, and then I pour the whole thing in. Theirs had just a little bit of their tea culture in there. Okay, so now it says, gently stir entire contents of starter culture pouch in the sweetened tea and take a pH reading. So this little kit that I bought did come with little pH testing strips. So we will do that here in a minute. And then in this little kit, it had like a little cloth for the top. Things I know you don't need, but again, if you're just playing the how do I get into this and make it easiest on my head. It came with a little cloth that goes over the top. You can also use a coffee filter, this rubber band, a marker to write on it. Again, unnecessary stuff, but also convenient. Little the pH testing strips. Also the jar, and I have some gallon jars. Again, make Mama feel like this is easy. So here's their little pH chart. And again, I have friends that just grow this all the time and have jugs of it all over their kitchen. Whatever makes it possible, right? And it had the little dropper in there, so I should probably, thinking back to my nursing days. So, brewing, fermenting foods at home will remind me of nursing. Okay, so, let's see here. See what color we get. Let's see if it gets any greener. It said on here if it, well, let's see, I can't hold the camera and my strip, so hold on a moment. Okay, it says pH should be below 4.5, and so I think we're about a 3.5. That's a pretty good match there. If it was above 4.5, it wanted me to add a tablespoon of white vinegar and test again. But I think we can safely say we are 3.5 there. And so that's good. So I'm just going to add a little bit more water to this, and then we'll start the next process. So then it says place in a warm area between 75 and 85. Cold temperatures are almost always the cause of mold issues. Remember, cold equals mold. I'm not exactly sure where the best place will be for this. I mean, I guess I could put it in on top of my dryer. That might be a thing. So we'll just continue to check in on this. Cold grows the mold, and so that this needs to be at least like 75 to 80 degrees. So I have 4 kitchen towels because my little temperature reading was saying 74 degrees. And of course we just made this morning. And yeah, so I'm trying to wrap it up and hopefully warm it up. I think I've heard that people do this, wrapping it up. And again, I may have to try some other areas in the house, but just hard to find a place that's, you know, 75 to 85 degrees in the house. It just doesn't work like that. Okay, so now I'm back with an update as far as how some of the temperatures have been going. So with my big gallon jar that said that it needed to be kept between 75 and 85 degrees, and anything below 75, cold equals mold. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, anyway, by last evening, that jar was 70 degrees in my kitchen, and that was even wrapped under several towels. So, spring is not on our side, right? So, just because the weather's been so nice out, and anyway, it's not really hot in the house. I thought today, okay, I really am going to put that big jar on my dryer, wrap it in a towel, and just see how it goes. So I was happy last time I checked the temperature. Let's look and see if this is still working out. Okay, so this is how I have it. And look at that. It is 77 degrees. Run the dryer several times a day, so I don't know how, well, I mean, even at bedtime, we might have the dryer going. Just saying, I don't know, because, you know, the window's there if it's going to get a little chillier overnight or whatever, but it's our baby. We must protect it. Okay, and so then we will feed the sourdough again tonight. I did feed it last evening. It was 2 tablespoons of flour and 2 tablespoons of water. And it looks like my 3 quarts of the unsweetened coconut milk kefir that I was reculturing have been successful. I don't have coffee filters, so I've just been using little napkins. The directions always say to do a coffee filter, but that is okay. We will be okay. So all I am going to do is put my lids back on here. Of course, wide mouth anything when you're doing anything in jars is helpful, but also just having a jar is helpful. So I'll use the regular mouth as well. I've had some bone broth go in on the stove top today. I added a little bit more water to it because, you know, it evaporated after a few hours, and I'm gonna bring it to a boil just one more time, and then I want to work on canning that beef broth this evening. So I'm gonna put these 3 in my refrigerator. Again, so far what I've been doing with this is we have smoothies a couple times a week, and I've been pretty much, I go through a whole quart adding it in my different batches of smoothies. I figure that's good for everybody's gut health, right? And so why not? And the directions say that this should be good in my refrigerator for 2 to 3 weeks. So I'm thinking this is these 3 are for smoothies 3 times next week as our add-ins, and there's a little healthy additional thing we can do. Okay, so now on my little sourdough pack. So yesterday it was the after 12 to 24 hours, feed the starter with additional 2 tablespoons of flour, 2 tablespoons of water, stir thoroughly. Now it says the 3rd time, which here we are, after 12 to 24 hours, which it's been almost 24, feed the starter with an additional 1/4 cup of flour, 1/4 cup of water, stir thoroughly. Okay, we're getting up there. So let's do that. So this evening, or what's not going to happen this evening, I need to finish doing a video that's going to have like 30 slow cooker freezer meals in it. And I don't have that done yet, and I really don't have the 2 or 3 hours this evening that I need to get that done. All that to say, I don't have a dinner to just, that I should have thrown in the slow cooker earlier. I'm just gonna get a beef roast that I already have defrosted actually out of my freezer. It's from that batch of freezer meals. I need it for that, but I'm gonna take it from that tonight, and I'm going to dump it in my Instant Pot, and I have some of this lemon pepper marinade dressing. I'm gonna pour it in there. We're gonna make dinner. That's what's happening, yay. Alrighty, and so I am just going to turn this on. We're going to put it on saute though. I'm going to put a little oil in there, and we will just brown both sides. I'm doing actually 2 roast. Get some vegetable and throw it in there. I have some wild rice left from last night. So there we go, pulling dinner together. Dump in these onions. Also, new stovetop in action. Earlier today I went to turn that burner off and I found myself still pushing the buttons. What Travis found out is it was and I'm not going to be able to tell you electrical exactly, but the malfunction was coming from these buttons more than the actual burners on the stove. And he did have to add this trim board, modify it, because we thought we ordered one that would fit it perfectly, and it did not. So he has added this, and we'll only be using it for a little bit of time. But we have it, yay! So now I'm going to let that broth cool. I had a bag of baby carrots that was frozen. I just dumped that in as well. I think I did 2 onions and a bunch of garlic, and then we got a bone down in there, and I roasted the bone first for about 30 minutes or so. Good morning. We've been playing If You Give a Mouse a Cookie in the kitchen this morning. This has become when Mom's got a bunch of different projects going on. So did a big batch of bone broth, got that going yesterday. I showed you that on the stove. Once that boiled for a while, and then I simmered it for a while. This morning I strained it all off out of this pot. I knew it had to be dealt with. It's in 3 containers now. I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator for about, I'll say 24 hours, but you know, at some point tomorrow, later that day, I'm gonna deal with it. Don't know if that'll be 27 hours or what. Just I'll skim the fat off, and then we will put it all back in a pot, get it boiling again, and do hot pack canning with it. So because of that, this morning I got 2 of my canners out that needed washed, and 2 loads of jars that needed washed. And then what else have I been doing? We've got, let me just give you a tour of what is happening in the kitchen. But all that to say, what I need to do today as well, when I get through this project, see, I didn't even get out of my pajamas yet. I have 3 different meat things I need to cook ahead. Ground beef, and then I believe there's maybe some, my mom is feeding Tobin a sweet potato, and in between bites Tobin goes, "Mum, mum, 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 mum," so you'll hear that. Anyway, if I remember correctly, it's a couple roasts that, you know, I need to brown on each side. Just need to do some meat prep for some freezer meals coming up, and then I'm working on another video putting all those freezer meals together. And we will also check my temperature on my science project growing on the top of my dryer. And then I might take you around and show you some new things happening around here. So here's just some of the state. Like, Jamerrill, why do you want 2 sinks in the new kitchen? Well, this is a perfect example. So we've got some breakfast dishes here. This is one of our, we've been getting our milk locally here, and so this, and sweet potatoes on my fingers because I just peeled some sweet potatoes. They were already cooked, but Actually, for last night, I think I showed doing a bunch of yellow potatoes and sweet potatoes. Yes, Tobin, yes. He's talking to his food. Anyway, we've been getting our milk locally here, and that's just something new we're adding in. So this is a half-gallon jar that the kids finished with breakfast this morning. And then what else? Tore my messy kitchen with me. Travis brought me a nice coffee because he knows I'm doing a lot this morning. And there's one of my canners I'm washing. Here's my 3 things of broth that we're gonna put in the refrigerator. We got a scrap bowl over there. I had a few small things of corn yesterday. I reheated them. They just weren't right. And that's 2 peanut butter and jelly tortillas that got dropped on the ground outside. Let me tell you what's in my scrap bowl. Anyway, the pot I did the broth in, my Instant Pot liner from that beef last night, one of the canning lids I'm gonna start working on. I use these to strain the broth. Liam helped me because this pot is so big, so we each get on either side. Whole lot of canning jars. I've been pouring the hot soapy water into the canners. These are 2 of the Presto canners that I have. I also have an All-American canner. And anyway, I just thought I would deal with these. But really, I'm just prepping and washing. So hopefully by tomorrow afternoon, I can get some canning done. But I'm doing the prep work this morning. All that making sense? You with me? You with me? What else happened? Well, one of my bowls poured water all the way around the sink. So anyway, now that I'm done with the tour, I'm gonna get back to dealing with all this. I thought this was interesting. If you can see it in this jar, there's a bubble there. When they talk about inspecting your jars and lids for imperfection, there's just, I feel it. Let's see if I turn it, if you can see it. So this side's smooth. And then this one, there. You can probably see it at that angle. Right there. So this will be a drinking glass now. I'm not doing my full math right now on how many jars we will need for this broth, but anyway, these are the ones that are ready, and now I'm going to wash out these canners. Well, friends, so in true Jamerrill fashion, it's announcement time. It's announcement time. And, oh, it's just, yeah. So I thought about not sharing this, which is a possibility. There's a lot I don't share. But then there's good, happy reasons I want to share this. So I don't like feeling like I can't share what I want to share about, but there's always the conflict of, you know, the videos that I make. So let's have a little YouTube therapy for a minute. The videos that I make are always whatever I can get out at that time. Whatever I have learned over the years, there's a lot emotionally and even mentally that goes into making these videos and getting this content out and being fairly consistent with it and making stuff that you like, right? So I'm about to share some things I feel like sharing. And I just want to give the parameters that this doesn't mean there's going to be regular updates. I might share about it once in a while. I might hit a season where you get like 3 videos in a row about some of these things I'm about to share, and then I might not open my mouth about it really for 6 months. And that doesn't mean it's still not happening behind the scenes. There's no hidden message there. It just might mean that when I'm doing these activities or participating in them or working on these projects, I don't want to film and I don't want to open my mouth about it. I just want to enjoy the time with my family and focus on these things. And later I might circle back and feel like I can share some about this right now, or I have things I want to put out there in the world about this topic. Okay, you got all that? Okay, thank you. And thank you all for been playing along here with me for so many years now. And okay, so it's homesteading things. Yes. So in 2020, okay, couple things here. In 2020, I ordered bees and I ordered a beehive. Only because the mail, that's when it was really starting to get messed up. I ordered them, and by the shipping dates, there was plenty of time. The beehive was going to come first, and the bees were like almost 2 months out, right? So things got scrambled. The beehive didn't come, and the bees came early. So I had a box of bees delivered, and I had no hive. A friend of mine did come and give me a hive, but it was all the parts to build a hive. I did not have time to build a hive. So it was super nice to be given everything to do it, but I needed like the kit to come. Okay, so all that to say, it's good to have friends with beehives. So local friends with beehives, I called around and I was like, hey, you want these bees? Because my already put together kit is weeks out. Some folks were telling me, have your kids build it. I'm like, I don't have time to do beehive lessons right now. I needed everything to come to me pretty much ready to go. So, blessed a friend with the bees. Okay, eventually, canceled the order on that hive set. Never came. Still have all the pieces to build a hive down on a basement shelf. All that to say, Travis has ordered a flow hive. Yes. So we're going to get one of those. We have not put in the order for bees yet. The flow hive is going to get here and he's going to set it up, and that's amazing. Also, he wants to do apple trees. So I'm like, who are you? Okay. So Travis, some of his projects will be beehives and apple trees. We did get our new flock of pullets going. I was able to find a local farm that had them for sale for like 8 weeks to 13 weeks. A couple of ours are 8 weeks. Most of them are 12 to 13 weeks, which means in about less than 8 weeks or so, we should be getting back in the egg business again, which is good. While we were doing that, researching beehives, ordering the flow hive, looking into apple trees. Travis would like me to ask, he would like everyone's recommendations on apple trees. He would like a red apple, like a Red Delicious. He would like to know the best additional apple trees to plant as far as cross-pollination and all that. Like Liam bought a Fiji apple tree the other day, and we were reading about that it needs I think it was a Golden Delicious or a Honeycrisp or a Jonathan apple planted nearby. Okay, so all these little apple tree adventures, and that's a separate apple tree project. Okay, so since all these property project things have been going on, and in my homesteading video from about a month ago, I was like, we're just gonna focus in on this kitchen. That's all we're gonna be able to do. I'm gonna get the chickens going again, and I'm going to do a raised bed garden, but I don't think we're going to be able to get that done until fall 2022 because just the work involved. We'll get it set up by the end of this year for next year's gardening. And that was based off of, I was thinking I would have to have someone come in and actually build raised bed boxes for me. I know that people build their own raised beds out of wood. I was just in my mind thinking, this is one thing I'm gonna have to get help with. Travis is here in electrical land, and even so, wood isn't his thing. You know, metal and wires he can do. And of course, yeah, build me some metal raised beds. Well, he probably could have, but I got on Amazon. I found a bunch of metal raised bed kits, and I was like, well, if it comes in a kit and we put it together, then couldn't I do raised bed gardens now? So, you know, sometimes there's just like a mental holdup or like a hump you have to get over. And so when I saw that I could buy the kits, and I was like, we can put those together. Looks like we're gonna do a garden this year. So actually right here, hold on, let me show you. Right there. Okay, so that's one of the small raised beds. I believe it's gonna be a 4x2. I got 8 of those, and then I got 8 kits that are 8x4. And we're gonna put the raised bed garden in the area where I was discussing. Hold on now, looking at that, sounds everywhere. We've had a lot of wind today. It's like third winter in Virginia. So we're gonna do the new raised bed garden over yonder where I moved my meat bird chickens in 2020. It's just a very fertile part of the property, even more so now that we had 100 chickens rotate through it. Last year it grew a lot of lush green grass. There's lots of sun there for, you know, more than 6 hours a day. It's just a good gardening spot. So that's where the raised bed garden is going, the start of it at least. And I still have a perfect path, and you won't be able to see it, but up here, all the way down to where my coops are, I've got, I don't know, is it 300 feet, 400 feet? I've got a nice stretch where that meat bird dome for this year, we can just move it up and down, and by the time it gets to the last place, you know, grass will be growing again, and it'll all be fresh and ready for them with fresh bugs and fresh stuff to pick at. And even beyond that, we've got other places we can push the dome. But the big open sunshine area, that's where we're putting the raised bed garden. I would like for Travis to put down the ground protective stuff that he does, and he goes and gets loads of rocks at the quarry, and that's where he has gotten some rocks for some other like rock beds we've done around the back. So we're gonna have the raised beds, we're gonna have the rock paths, and then I want about another 4 feet or so with just rock, because rocks are cheap, right? Just rock, and I'm gonna do my cloth bags again and pots and other things. And that's what we'll do for this year. And then if that goes well, we've already talked about next year, he can open up one side of it and we can continue to expand it out. But there you go. So that's happening for this year. So then, once we talked through that, I was like, okay, beehive things are gonna happen. Researching apple trees. Got the pullets settled. Gonna do the garden. Already have my order in for meat birds for this year. And because we have the equipment and such. And so I thought, okay, yeah, no, I'm seeing where we can do this year. And for meat birds, I've done the jumbo Cornish cross, but I was gonna do Freedom Rangers this year. And you grow them out a little longer. They don't grow as much meat as quickly, but they're another one to work through. So I already have my orders in for them. So then I was like, okay, we have this big empty coop and this whole other run, because we've got 2 coops with their own encaged area, and then there's a door in the middle where if I want to open the door and then go back and forth between 2 coops and such. What could we put there? And so, not necessarily a permanent thing, but got on Craigslist, and that can be a dangerous place. So I found a breeding pair of heritage turkeys, and we picked those up and put them in there, and they've been getting settled. Now I will say, it is mating season, and the tom is nuts. and his name is Jack Wagon. Okay, so hopefully it is just the mating season that has made him extra kicky. Everything that is not definitely 100% a pet is up for processing and butchering at any time. He could potentially be butchered with the first load of meat birds at some point this summer, depending on how his personality kind of shakes out. A lot of the birds, the poultry in general, have to be able, like I'd like them to be able to come out and free range every day. As of this point, he could not be with any other birds. And I'm concerned about him attacking our goose that we've had for 2 years now. So like we're committed to this goose, but we're not committed to Jack Wagon. So we shall see how life goes for him. But anyway, for now, him and Jacqueline, his wife, have the other coop and have a big run area just for the two of them. She is laying eggs, but she's not laying them in the coop. But it would be ideal for them to be able to be out in free range in the future. As it is now, nothing has been in their coop area for over a year. It's been cleaned and it's had, you know, hay laid down on it, and it's just, they're having a good time scratching and getting bugs and stuff. So I don't feel bad for them. Just saying, that's something new. We have some heritage turkeys. We might eat one. We might keep the other one. And with her eggs, though, we can get those and put them in the incubator and raise some other turkeys there if Jack Wagon is too much of a turkey. So we've done that here. And then within all this, so for 2 years now, I have been researching and reading about and watching videos about and just thinking about how pigs and a cow would fit in here on our property, and what that would look like for us. I like the idea of pigs. Hello, a lot of meat. I'm not so sure of raising the great big pigs for like 5 to 6 months and then butchering, only because I haven't done that yet. I say that, and then one of my good friends raised pigs for the first time last summer in her little strip of woods, and with a neighbor's help even processed them herself. So, I mean, warrior women can do these things, okay? But I was just thinking through, that's where my mind goes, like, I don't know that I can do that yet, which sounds silly. A bunch of you have probably raised big pigs, and very well in a month I might say, okay, we figured some things out, and Travis and I've talked through these other details, and here's the 2 Berkshire piglets that we got, and we're raising them for 5 to 6 months and taking them to the processor. But for today, I'm sharing, in my pig research, a pig that I have thought would be perfect for us to have here would be the Koonie Koonie. There's a lot of great videos on YouTube of folks raising Koonie Koonies. So I've been excited about the Koonie Koonies. So we have been visiting some Koonie Koonie farms in our area, again, continuing the research, and we're getting Koonie Koonies. They are not here yet. So we have 3, they're Koonie Koonie and IPP, which stands for Idaho Pasture Pig. Their mom, let's see here, their mom was 100% Koonie Koonie, and their dad was 100% Idaho Pasture Pig. Okay, so those 3 are coming. They're 3 castrated males. With those, we're gonna have one that's gonna be a pet, okay? And he'll just be a friend when another friend is needed as far as the animals go. I'll get more into that. One will be a pet. That way when people ask, what about the kids? How do the kids feel? We will have a pet pig. And then the other 2, we're gonna grow out and raise for meat. And then along with that, we also have a breeding pair of Koonie Koonies. So this is, he's about an 18-month-old male, and his name is Boris, and we went and spent time with Boris the other day. Boris is the male. That'll be what we say 3 times today. The female's name is Carol. We're probably gonna rename her to Natasha, because I can't say Boris without thinking Natasha, right? And she is on even a smaller size, even for Koonie Koonies. So many times they can breed around a year, but the farm that we're buying them from says she really should be about 14 months or so. So we are actually leaving Boris and Natasha at their farm until June when she's ready to breed. And the reason that we're doing that is basically we bought them a week before last, but if we brought them here now, because she's not ready to breed, we have to keep them separate. And I just feel like I don't want to do that right now. I want them to be able to be together. And the transition of going from the farm they're at to our place here, if they can be together, it's just going to make the transition even easier. So we're going to wait for June, but they're coming. The 3 Kuni IPP piglets, they're coming. We're picking those up in 2 weeks. Okay, the reason we're going the Kuni route with the pigs is they really are perfect for the smaller homestead, hobby homestead, pretend homestead. You know, about 7 acres here. They're perfect for this amount of land. They're slower growers, so they're not gonna, well, they'll never be 600 pounds, but the range is somewhere between 100 pounds and 400 pounds. So you can have some of them, especially the boars, that get 350, 400 pounds, but many of them are going to be more in like the 220, 250 range. And it can take a year to 18 months to even 2 years to grow them out to the weight that you would want to be. The reason that we're going to do the Kunis now, go ahead and get them going this summer, is they're like a future project that's going to happen. I mean, obviously them being here and caring for them and getting them situated is a project, but we're not butchering this summer. That will be summer or probably fall 2023, maybe even January 2024. One of my good friends locally, who her and her family butcher, they call friends over and they butcher every winter. They usually do it in January. So it's a futuristic thing. In the meantime, the pigs are a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun for the kids, especially the Kunis. It's just going to be a great experience. And again, they've enjoyed visiting the pig farms that we've been to. I believe it takes them only about 3 months for gestation of their babies. And so I'm thinking by fall, we could have our first litter of pigs, and they can have 2 litters a year. So we're just going to get our little Kuni farm situation going, and that's just going to be a long drawn out thing, right? The meat birds are going to come early May. They'll be coming as little peeps, and then it's about 12 weeks or so. So probably when they're about 8 weeks old, we'll get a second load and go through two runs of 50 there with those. And then there's one more thing. Okay, back in summer 2020, I had a dairy cow reserved. She was in milk. She did have a misshapen udder. She was from a family dairy, and anyway, they didn't have any trouble getting milk off of her. She's about 6 years old or so. We were going to get her. We were planning out our area and such, and then just a little random fact, another thing from summer 2020 is I was moving the meat bird dome myself, just busting through, doing it myself, not asking for help. Would you believe that? Excuse me while I scratch my face. And I pulled something in my back and it knocked me out for like a whole week. And I was first trimester pregnant with Tobin, and I thought, okay, you know what? I just think we will not do the cow right now. Maybe we just should not do this right now. Anyway, that turned out to be wisdom, because 2021 was a doozy for me as far as my health and things I've already mentioned several times. So we decided to wait on the cow. And through that time, again, talking to other local friends who've done cows and all the different options, one of the options I've heard about over this last year and a half or so is getting the calf, like a bottle feeding calf, hand raising it, later on having it bred, later on basically you're raising your meat and your milk. I know that there's a lot of big feelings about dairies and calves and taking the calves from their mamas and all of that. There's also situations where the moms have mastitis and maybe can't nurse. It could be a cow at a dairy, and you know, they take the babies and sell them, and they keep the mamas in milk. I'm not really debating that and that whole industry, because I shared pictures of our trip, a field trip to a dairy farm one time on Instagram, and it was like, whew, I am now responsible for everything going on in the dairy industry. But a cow on a homestead, providing milk and having babies, and later on providing meat for a family, lives a fantastic life, okay? Well, friends, smack dab in the middle, I am telling you all about the super savings with my 2022 Massive Mega Bundle, where all the products in the Massive Mega Bundle are less than $4 each. For a limited time, and I tell you, we're heading towards the end stretch here, you can get the brand new Spring 2022 Massive Mega Mealtime Sanity Saving Bundle for 75% off. With the over 40 products in the 2022 Massive Mega Bundle, you get it all. The value is over $600. It's a huge mama sanity savings to make meal times easier and to give you more time with your family without worrying what's for dinner. I tell you, I thank myself every time I go to the freezer and just lay out tomorrow's dinner from the freezer into the refrigerator, and then the next day I know dinner's already out there made. All I have to do, of course, you know my freezers are on the front porch right now, haha. All I have to do is bring that dinner into the house, dump it in a slow cooker, and I am ready to go. Or if it is 9 by 13 pans, I know close to dinner time the following night, I just need to get that in the oven, make some side items, set out some fresh fruit or seasonal vegetables, anything I want to add in, but dinner is done. And any extra energy, anything, little speck here and there I want to do, I'm able to do it because I am just getting dinner in the oven. And there you go. Mama brain cells. Isn't that wonderful? So in the 2022 Massive Mega Deal, the 40 plus product bundle, you get these Ultimate Super Mega Large Family Freezer Meal Packs 1 through 15. That's over a $224 value right there. You get Slow Cooker Dinners and Meal Plans Volume 1, 2, and 3. That's a $44.97 value. You get 30 plus Slow Cooker Freezer Meals in one afternoon, Pack 1 and Pack 2. Those are $14.99 each value-wise. You get Frugal From Scratch Baking Recipes and Baking Staples Pack 1. You also get Pack 2. You get the Large Family 4-week Electric Pressure Cooker Meal Plan Delightful and Abundant Pack 1. You get the Large Family 4-week Electric Pressure Meal Plan Filling and Wholesome Pack 2. You get Make Ahead Holiday Meals to Feed a Crowd Pack 1. Again, all of these $14.99 value. You get Easy and Frugal Make Ahead and Freeze Cookie Baking Book. Yes and amen. You get Mega Muffins Volume 1. That one has a special place in my heart. You get the One for Now, One for Later Freezer Meal Collection Packs 1, 2, and 3. You get Easy and Simple Large Family Sheet Pan Meals Packs 1, 2, 3, and 4. Absolutely fantastic. There's also a low carb and sugar-free desserts pack. Easy Skillet Dinner Meals Made Easy. That we've been doing several meals from that as well. That one is just fantastic. Also, the Super Extreme Budget and Grocery Shopping Pack. There's a Family Favorites Recipe Binder Creation Kit. Also, a pack called 4 Fun Ways to Make Overnight Oats. And you also get the Mega Freezer Meal Planning Pack and more. So it is just an absolutely fantastic bundle. It's only going to be available at this massive mega 75% off for a limited time. There are over 11 new products for 2022. Now also, if you purchased the mega deal that I offered in 2021 and you only need the new 11 products for 2022, that upgrade bundle is also available. It's just got everything that you need. And if you're interested, you can also read and hear what others are saying about the products that are in the 2022 Spring Massive Mega Bundle. One of the reviewers says, "I absolutely love this bundle. It is full of delicious meals, easy to follow recipes, and no brain use grocery lists." Those are my favorite. "I filled my freezer Saturday and have never had anything go so smoothly and fast. Thanks, Jamerrill. Your packs are very thought out and family friendly. Every household should have all your packs. So nice. One more review here. Thank you, Jamerrill. I absolutely love all your products. In addition to meal planning and prep, I have learned so much about my general way around the kitchen. Skills you think a mom would just know, but no, I didn't. I'm making sure to bring my kids into the kitchen so they will have these skills when they grow up. The days that I have a large family table recipe planned, prepped, make for peaceful days around here, so thank you. Those peaceful days are happening more and more often, thank you. So those are some lovely reviews I thought you would enjoy. There's actually well over 1,000 amazing reviews over on the Large Family Table shop, so you can click through the first link in the description below to read those reviews, and also go ahead and grab your 2022 massive mega bundle with the 40 plus products. Get the whole collection for 75% off now for a limited time. I happened to find a calf from basically an accidental farm breeding that I'm also not responsible for, so there you go. And found this calf. It was being sold. It was 10 days old. Oh, that was our little poem, being sold 10 days old. And Travis and I had been discussing the option. Well, if we get it as a calf, I mean, we don't know what we're doing with cows, right? But if we get it as a calf, we're going to grow up with it and learn along the way. And again, what a wonderful experience for the kids and for us. So I've been keeping my eye out. The kind of cow I would like to have here on this property would be a Dexter cow. They're the smallest breed of cow. I mean, other than the Highland cows, they get about 800 pounds or so. And people, again, on a small amount of acreage, like 5 to 10 acres, can raise a Dexter cow. And we have basically 2 different wooded areas that between rotating pigs and rotating a cow, we have room for it here. So we keep my eye out for a Dexter. What I found was, okay, this is the accidental farm breeding. So her mama was a Dexter and her daddy was a Holstein. And if you know cows, that there's a big size difference there, okay? I think Holsteins are like 1,300 pounds or so. What they told me was that they had some Dexter cows out in the field and they put some little bulls that were not very old. They did not think old enough to breed in the field with the Dexter cows. And that's how we got our cow now. So earlier this week, we went to pick up Margaret. And Margaret is, again, half Dexter, half Holstein. Now, what can happen with that, and I think was also potentially the cause of the cow I was going to get that had the misshapen udder. Misshapen udders can happen from crossbreeding. However, even if that happens, much of the time you're still able to get milk from them. You follow this project? So Margaret is our new family member here, but she's also, for the most part, at least the plan now, and I can change my mind and my plans at any time. Right now the plan is we're raising her up. I cannot even get a turn to bottle feed her because the kids are so quick on it. We were able to find a local raw milk source, and so they're selling me milk straight from a mama cow in a 5-gallon bucket, and we're keeping that in one of the refrigerators, giving her the bottle twice a day. I do get to wash the bottles and get them ready the night before, but I mean, in the morning, they are quick. So Margaret is getting lots of love and attention. So the plan is now we're just taking our best shot at raising her. By next summer, we will look into our options for having her bred. I know she can always take a trip. There's also other services available that can help make that happen. So then their pregnancy is about 9 months. So we're looking now, this calf that we have, spring 2022, we are looking at potentially having her have a baby and us finally being in cow milk like 2 years from now. Okay, so again, besides giving the bottles to her twice a day and her running all around the yard with the kids, and we got a little halter for her and all of that, that's what's happening. So that gives us plenty of time to build a little run-in area for her and have an area to milk her, and these are down the road projects. But for right now, we can love up that cow. And I've heard from another friend of mine that she would much rather have a bottle-fed calf as her milk cow. That way, if the cows get out, they just come up and start looking in your window. They're not running off. So those are our projects. So we have gone from, I don't know, I guess we won't do much in 2022 besides get the chickens going and get raised beds at some point, to, you know what, we're set up. We've got buildings and run-ins and fencing. We already had a perfect spot for a beehive. And even a beehive, I mean, that's something that we wouldn't get the benefits from until next summer, but we could do things now so that we get there eventually, right? So again, if I was just living my life, minding my own business, doing what me and my husband want to do, I wouldn't care what people have to think about these projects that we're doing and these animals that we're raising and garden that we're growing and all of that, but I do share. And so for my viewing friends, I just wanted to tell you, I got a calf and I'm getting pigs. Okay, if you think I'm insane or I don't even know, whatever the long list is, I don't care. So I'm just sharing that these are some of the things I've been doing these last couple weeks, some of the new adventures that we're getting ready to do. And I was thinking we couldn't do this because of renovation stuff, and now I'm like, oh, we can. Because besides the electrical, we're not in here doing this stuff. And even with the renovations that are going to happen in the middle of the house, I mean, it'll be good for us to have lots of things to putter with outside. We'll get there when we get there. But in the meantime, you know, in 2 years, we're going to have pigs that are grown out that we can butcher, and in about 2 years we should have milk as well. So several of these new things are long-range projects. Like in 2 years, I would be glad to have a bunch of grown out pigs. Also, these are registered Kune. So potentially with the Kune-Kunes, the breeding pair are registered. And so if we just had so many Kune-Kunes we didn't know what to do with, and it was more than what we needed or wanted to handle, there's a market for Kune-Kunes. So there you go, me starting my farm side hustle. With the cow, I want y'all to meet her, right? I want to show her to you. But again, it's with fear and trepidation because I'm probably not going to report regularly on the cow. I don't want to make her YouTube famous. She's not going to have her own Instagram account. And things happen. You know, a farmer I was talking to the other night told me, now if she gets down, because it's a real thing with calves, especially if they did not get colostrum the first 24 hours. Supposedly our calf got colostrum the first 24 hours. But still, she's off of Craigslist. I don't know, right? But anyway, he told me if a calf gets down that's a Holstein or has Holstein in it, Holsteins don't have any will to live. Okay? So, and the vet, you know, she's checked out super, no issues, but things happen, right? So I don't want this calf to be dead in 2 weeks, but there could be a crazy turn of events and the calf might die. And I might not make a whole YouTube video about it, okay? Things happen on the farm. And so we're doing all we're supposed to do for this calf. So far, she is feeling great. She has checked out super. She's very delightful. And they even said, well, she's on the smaller Dexter size for her calf size right now. But if you're on a farm or a homestead, you know that stuff happens. I know growing up on the horse farm for the years that we lived on a horse farm when I was a child, it wasn't all horse farm, but the horse farm times, stuff happens, things happen. And also another thing I juggle is I don't have my family and my kids like all up in my videos. And a lot of times when we're out doing animal things or garden things, if my kids are there, I'm most likely not going to be filming and not film very much. Which leads me to this next point. I just happened to thought, hey, since I'm basically doing another little Q&A, several folks lately have told me they really don't like my voiceover videos, or they're just, Jamerrill, why are you doing these voiceover videos? That also gets back to the kind of footage I'm able to share and like give out at that time. I know everything I do just looks like I'm doing nothing, but really there's a lot of work that goes on to everything I do. And so I've just been in a season recently where like when I'm doing a lot of cooking, you know, kids might be having a great time at the dining room table. There might be a lot of noise in the house. So I don't want to use that audio right so that they can feel free to be kids in their own home. I also get in like cooking modes and project modes where I don't want to talk through it. I just got to get the work done, and then later I can share about what I'm doing. So I don't know, just another little like in today's meeting of Jamerrill viewers. Please know that when I put out a voiceover video, it doesn't have to be your favorite. Just know again, it's all I have to give at that time. Okay, maybe that's going to be the Jamerrill YouTubing in her 40s, right? Because I think I've been doing this 7 or so years now as far as the YouTube side. I just have to be honest with myself with what I'm able to give and still be a mama and still do the things and projects and stuff I want to do. You know, basically like Travis says, you just share what you want to share, and what you don't want to share, you just don't have to. So I want to share my cow. I'll even show y'all the chickens and the joker turkey that we might eat, right? And that's also the thing. We love these animals, but even Margaret, you know, one day she'll probably also be meat for us to eat. We're going to raise her, we're going to love her, and hopefully we're able to milk her, and then she will have babies, and we will raise those babies and have them processed once they get to a certain age. And that's part of a slow journey to being more self-sufficient and doing as much as we can here on our own property. I know some wild women who even butcher their own cows on their own property. It's all possible. And honestly, at this point, I don't know how much of that I will share. But for today, I feel like I'm going to share this cow and these turkeys and these chickens. And in a few weeks with the piglets, I might share the piglets, or I might not. So we got more cooking projects coming up in this video, other things I'm just puttering around about. There is a lot of wind going on, so I don't know outside if I'm going to be able to use any of the audio, but I'm going to take you around now and show you some of these critters. Okay, and actually with the wind, I'm going to stand here for a minute and then we'll go out and see the calf. But our former garden area up here, you know, we have the fencing. It's all right here. It grows grass, grows weeds, grows all kinds of things. And so what my plan is right now over the next several weeks while she is still bottle feeding, and even whenever our new Cooney / IPP piglets come, is they're just going to all be right up here. Now this is a very large fenced in area, and I actually have 4 large fenced in areas and then a small fenced in area on this property, plus I have 2 pretty good sized chicken runs. And then we have a whole lot more that could be fenced in, we'll say like with T-post and electric fencing and hog panels or whatever. But then we also got from Premier One their pig quick fence, the electrified fencing that you can move around. So we do have lots of options. So for right now, we're keeping Margaret right here. Now she may move more into what I consider our barnyard area, and a suburb project will be some more rotating fence areas for Margaret and the pigs. Anyway, we have lots of areas to rotate, folks. She likes the leaves too. Hey, Margaret Moo. Hi. I know, you're like, you're here. Where's my bottle? Where's my bottle, huh? I know. So she gets a bottle twice a day. She gets a whole gallon a day is what it ends up being. She's checking me out. I know I'm not one of your kids. I'm not one of your kids. So anyway, she's got this big calf hutch here with a whole bale of hay. I know you're headbutting me looking for it, but I don't have it. I don't have it, Miss Margaret. We brought her home in the back of our van. I will share some pictures. Hey, girly. I know. We'll have bottle time later. She's like, wait a minute. Those kids ran with me a bunch today. I know, girlfriend, I know. There is Sean and Midnight for now. So up here is where we're going to do the raised beds. There will be fencing and such around that. Beyond that is our meat bird dome, and so it's just going to move. It'll go all the way down, and it'll come all the way up along the side, and then all the way down. So we have these 8 beds, and then I have 8 of the small ones, so it's probably going to be 4 of the small ones on either side. And then on this other edge is where I'll show you where I want extra rocks just for the bags and pots that I have. So right here it's going to come, it'll be several feet as well. And then we also have our little chicken tractor, whatever you want to call it, moving around hutch there. I don't have anything in that right now, but it's always good jail when needed. So then, oh yes, there's got a lot of noise going on. So I tell you, Gooser, yes, Gooser and the duck, they're living the free range life. That's the Joker Tom Turkey, otherwise known. You are talking, Gooser. Geese are amazing alarms. Anyway, so we got the turkeys, and then we got Mrs. Turkey right there. Oh, Gooser. So, oh yeah, Jackwagon. We're gonna see how it goes. Yeah. But he is pretty. He is pretty to look at. I know. I just want to raise and eat your babies. I hear you. You are mad. You are so mad. Anyway, and they've got a coop to themselves down yonder. She's got an egg laying out. Yeah, yep. I do hear this. I do hear this. I'm sure you're saying very bad things to me. And then there's a door in the middle over yonder. It goes over here. All the way over is another coop for chickens in their coop. He's just fascinating to me. We'll see. We'll see how it goes with you. Yep. I think the family that we got them from were on the verge of butchering him as well. We found out later they were not having good jackwagon experiences. So we're giving him a chance and seeing if it can all work out. Anyway, the dome, so you can come down here. Just keep sharing about that. So with these raised beds, we're just going to do and I've already started some of that cardboard on the bottom and then filling them with sticks. And then I'm probably going to put a bunch of my wonderful manure collection. We've got all kinds, but rabbit can pretty much go right on a bed. So. And like tomorrow, we need to go over to our milk location and we will get the calf another 5-gallon bucket of milk. Some people use milk replacer. Some people use just whole milk from the grocery store. In talking to some folks, it sounded like our best option, like the best thing for the calf would be if she could just have some raw milk. So that's what we've been able to do for her. So there's some of those updates. Yeah. So I got a big bag of meat here. I got Sam's Club bag full of meat. And this is meat I need to pre-cook, or I've got some roast I need to at least brown on the sides. So I'm going to get that going, and that's going to go with some freezer meals I'm doing later. And Tobin's talking to us. That's a lot of meat in that pan, but that's okay. Stick with me. I got a lot of sausage here that we need to remove from the casings. Since the knobs are up here, I've got a little less room to fiddle with this. And I will bleach out this Sam's Club bag because, yeah, meat things going on here. Alrighty, and while that meat is going, I thought to do tonight's sourdough stirring. Looking for something I could stir over the dishwasher. Even more pots and pans are overtaking this kitchen because I'm trying to get canning into it. So tonight it's going to be half a cup of flour. Get in there, flour. And then this, I only have it, let's see, are you exactly half a cup? Half a cup of water. And then the directions say to continue that for the next 3 to 7 nights. So we shall see how this continues. So I guess I'm gonna write some notes to myself on the outside of this jar so I remember what I'm doing. Alright, look at that sourdough. Time for another feeding this evening. Oh boy, but it looks like it's growing and might be some bubbles in there. I think the directions said we should start seeing bubbles, so nice. I'm getting several towels out this evening, so that's a sign that a lot is getting ready to happen in this kitchen. We just finished having the dishes done this afternoon. So there's still some water and stuff happening here. Remains of a burnt pizza situation. Yeah, and I was behind that one, of course. But want to feed this sourdough starter. Also have the remains of some jelly. So that up. We had church today. I took one of those afternoon after church naps this afternoon. The kids have an Easter play they're going to be in. They had practice for that today as well. Let's look at our little... See, I feel like even the simplest directions, I just got to remind myself every time. Okay. I missed a step on step 5. Okay. I should have done that last night. Okay, after 12 to 24 hours, discard down to half a cup of starter. And then feed the starter with half a cup of water and half a cup of flour. Oops. Then it says repeat step 5 every 12 to 24 hours for 3 to 7 days. Do this until the starter has the consistency of pancake batter and is bubbling regularly within a few hours of feeding. That's when your starter is activated and ready to use. So I didn't discard last night, so we'll have to do that. I think a friend of mine says she keeps the discard in another container and then we'll end up doing things with that as well. Well, let's do that and then we'll feed it again. And, well, no spoons available. All the spoons have disappeared in my house again. You know, stuff happens. You like my hair twisty? Okay, so I'm gonna have to just measure it out. Let's say to half a cup, right? Half a cup. Discard down. Okay, okay. Alright, so there's half a cup. So then I'm going to put this discard in something and phone a friend. Alrighty. Okay. So, something we will learn about. We'll put this back in the jar. I'm not left-handed. I'm doing this with my left hand. I can scrape better with my right. Okay, so I will just use this. Half a cup of starter, half a cup of water, half a cup of flour. Okay. This is 1 cup, but we will eyeball it to the half cup mark. Now, step 6 says, repeat step 5 every 12. Okay, so that means every day for the next 3 to 7 days. I think I'm understanding this correctly. Repeat step 5 every 12 to 24 hours for 3 to 7 days. So I believe for 3 to 7 days, I'm going to discard my starter down to half a cup. And then I'm going to add a half a cup of water, half a cup of flour. It says do this until the starter has the consistency of pancake batter and is bubbling regularly within a few hours of feeding. That's when your starter is activated and ready to use. So maintaining your starter, frequent bakers feed your starter once every 24 hours using 1 part starter, 1 part water, 2 parts flour. We suggest half a cup starter, half a cup water, 1 cup flour to keep your feeding smaller and more manageable. Well, we know how that goes. Okay, and then there's also a way to keep it in the fridge. So they have a gluten-free sourdough starter, or maybe you could have used this starter for gluten-free. Look into it if that's something you're interested. This is what the little pack looks like. I have followed the whole wheat side. It looks like there's gluten-free directions too, using brown rice flour. So nice little starter pack. Okay, so this is what we'll call a trigger warning, infant loss, if anyone's watching, but this I thought was precious, something that my mom is working on, and I thought you all would like to see this. So there's this local foundation called the Sadie Rose Foundation, and they offer services, and it's just a whole ministry in support for grieving families. And so they were looking for someone to take donated wedding gowns and make them into basically burial gowns for when there's an infant loss at at the hospital or other locations locally. So that is in my mama's wheelhouse, and this is just her first, we call this a prototype, first little gown. It's in development, it's in design,
Yes.
right? Yes. So this is from one of the dresses. And what is this from the...
This is a hem of a wedding gown,
Okay.
and this is part of a sleeve area with a
Part
trim
of a little
that matches.
sleeve, yeah. So this will be, some grieving family will be greatly blessed by this. And then is that other piece another little sleeve? Or is that a little cap?
Yes, there is a another sleeve here.
I think they gave you a pattern, not that you need one.
I had to draft my own.
You did, yeah, do her own thing. So anyway, just thought that,
This would be for an 8 to 10 pound baby.
yeah,
That'd be full
So-
term.
yes. But again, what a blessing it'll be. I don't really know what else to say other than I thought you all would appreciate this ministry project that my mama is working on. I don't really know how to transition, honestly, from looking at that precious dress and all those emotions to now showing you my crock that I got and my incubator. But like a lot of things in life, you just got to move from one thing to the next. And I'm either going to show you these things I already have laid out, or next thing I'm going to be canning beef broth. So moving on, but that I wanted to share that because I thought that was a good example of the Lord using our gifts and giving us opportunities, you know, within our wheelhouse, also out of our comfort zone, and being a willing vessel to do those things as we have the opportunity. So now on to my crock. So whenever I went into, and this is actually local hardware store, Tractor Supply, a little bit of Walmart, but all this stuff has gathered on my table for the last day. And we have Mr. Tobin, some of his birthday decorations left. We did a farm theme. I think what we're gonna do, I mean, we could hang this banner in the basement. That would be cute. But anyway, it's kind of like a flag material. So I think we might hang that outside on our chicken run or our turkey run. Somewhere fun, decorative. I went into the hardware store just to get another pack or two of jars and wanted to see if they had an updated canning book, just what they had here local. And they had crocks, which again, this whole video is about me doing new things happening. And if I haven't said it 10 times already with my kidney stuff in 2021 and all the antibiotics I was on, I've really been looking into and working with gut healing, gut health, even taking probiotics and such. That's why I'm, want to do the sauerkraut and the kefir and the other fermented, healthy, gut healthy drinks and such. And also the sourdough. So puttering along with all this stuff. Now, a year ago, I would not have even known what to do with a crock. But in my reading, I've been reading about sauerkraut and other fermented foods, and you can use a crock for those. I was going to use like a gallon jar. But anyway, they had a 1 gallon size up to 5 gallon size. Of course, I looked at that 5 gallon crock and I said, Jamerrill, be sensible. So I got a 2 gallon crock. And then they also had the weights there. And so just exciting. I had been reading about other ways you can have weights for sauerkraut and such, like filling jars with water and just different things you can use as them. But I'm going to have some actual weights and an actual crock. So, and I bought the cabbage 2 weeks ago or so to do homemade sauerkraut. So we will get that done. I got 2 more boxes of wide mouth quart jars. So this is all I got today at my little hardware store. Then Travis went into Tractor Supply with the kids the other night. Actually, the kids spent a bunch of just their money, their earned dollars and stuff that they've been saving up. So that's where Liam got his apple tree and his seeds, and just lots of kids got lots of fun shopping done at Tractor Supply. And I had told Travis I've been looking at incubators because we'll have fertilized chicken eggs again. We also, like right now, have fertilized turkey eggs, and those heritage turkeys are $60 each. Instead of buying more heritage turkeys, we should probably grow our own. Now, I'm hopeful that the hen we have will sit on the eggs, but again, with the behavior of the tom, I've heard that sometimes those toms get just so belligerent that they will kill a hen sitting on eggs. She is not sitting on eggs yet, but as soon as I see her doing that, I'm going to get him out of there and put him in some other, in another location. But also in the meantime, like she'll have a random egg in the yard. I think I showed you that. there will be some incubation opportunities coming up. I was getting lost on Amazon in all the incubator reviews, this actual brand, but because I was getting so lost on it, I thought, you know what, and like some of the reviews were saying that, you know, the incubator was too hot, or, you know, it definitely could have been user error, but I could not focus in on just like one incubator. That's the one that I should get. I figured when we go into a Tractor Supply, we will pick one up, and that way if I have any issues, I can take it back and, you know, look them in the eyeball in the store. And anyway, Travis was with kids. I was not there. But on my request list, I said, pick me up an incubator. This is the one he got me. It's a 22 egg capacity, and it has the automatic egg turner and the built-in LED candler. Anyway, so you can do ducks and I think quail and chickens in this. Maybe you can't do turkey in this. I know different ones have different size eggs. Okay, no, this only says chickens, ducks, pheasants. So maybe I'm not doing turkeys. Let me know if you've had a similar incubator and if you've done turkey eggs, because it gets into the egg size. So great for observation. So looked like a good first incubator. Tractor Supply. Then because we have pig things and cow things and other things going on, we did order the Premier One pig fence that we can move the pigs to different locations on the property. We also know we will need some other fencing options. We have an electric fence for our pony yard. Not that he ever needs it. I mean, he's never tried to get out or whatever, but we have it. So we got this, and apparently we could do a buffalo. So buffalo, horse, cow, and pig. Also, we're not sure yet, as I mentioned, about doing feeder pigs this year. And with those, we would have to do the training with the 2-wire fencing method. So anyway, Travis was getting us some options. That means he's supportive, and he's going to help me figure out how to build things, and that's his homesteading role. So he got this tape. What do they call this? Yes, electric fence tape and some supplies. This is a T-post remover. We needed one. We didn't actually have one, but we have the hammer that you slam the T-post down with. Looks like we got some clippers, and then that's a grounding rod for the electric fencing that he knows and I don't, and that is okay. Then the kids have a homeschool project fair coming up in about 2 weeks, and so they only had, Walmart pickup only had 2 of those big display boards, but then they have just a nice thick poster board, and then these are, I thought, the younger boys, like Daniel and Benjamin. This is a pack of mini poster boards. And then we got some project letters, and for older kids, Liam got one of these big ones. I think Naomi's going to take this one. So really I need at least 2 more. But at 4 and 7, I mean, basically what Daniel and Benjamin are doing is projects with boxes, and they're going to build towers. They have all these fun ideas. So I'll probably just have them at their ages draw pictures and such on their boards and their names and, you know, some details, but it's going to be their big creation. So this is just a little random haul at hardware store and Walmart pickup and Tractor Supply. Alrighty, good morning. So just showing the kefir in action. I am doing, this is a mixed fruit melody, and then the brown is bananas. This is the, yeah, so pineapples, strawberries, peaches, and mango. Kids have already had various things for breakfast, but I'm doing this for myself and one other person. Alrighty, so we got a creamy strawberry and mixed fruit smoothie. Also added in the vanilla protein powder and collagen and monk fruit as sweetener and all kinds of good things. Healthy stuff. So I would say that we would get outside for an hour or so this morning, but I think today is the last like cold day in our 3rd Virginia winter here. It's gonna be 36 all day. So yeah, just, you know, we've had days in the 60s and 70s, like up to 74, 76. We've had a nice preview of what's to come. So just don't know if I'm feeling like bundling up for winter again. So I think I'm going to work on getting the fat off the top of that broth and work on hot packing and canning that broth that needs to be done. and maybe just some inside project time. The kids have a project fair that they're participating in, that they have things out that they're working on right now, so might be project time for everybody. Okay, so because we're working with limited kitchen room, I'm having Gabriel bring in the containers of the beef bone broth. I'm going to pull all the fat off the top of it. We're going to save it in a jar. Later I can cook that down in a slow cooker. I might have enough to do it today. If not, I can just even throw the chunks of fat in a freezer bag and save it. It might take a couple batches before I have enough. But anyway, we can make a healthy fat to also cook with. I'm gonna pull this off, put it in a jar for now, and dishes are being done behind me. So we've got the canners stacked, and I'm gonna, I don't know, use this little bit of stovetop space here. So I have 2 quarts here that will go in the refrigerator for either some cooking or some drinking. I have a cup here that I'm drinking now, and this I will probably just drink here as well while I'm working with it. And then all of these I'm going to wipe the rims off with some vinegar just to clean them, and then I think we're finally going to get them in the canner. Yay! Be sure to click the first link down in the description below and get one limited time. And again, we're going to be hopping to the end here real soon. Go ahead and get the brand new 2022 massive mega bundle with over 40 plus amazing mealtime sanity saving products right now while it's still available for this limited time price. You know, in 2021 I was only able to have one shop sale, and who knows what other adventures await coming up in 2022. So take advantage of this massive mega savings while it's available. I will see you very soon with another brand new video. Thank you so much for watching. Alrighty, so we got 14 quarts here of beef bone broth. It's gonna cool now. I've heard the lids popping already. Basically, I'm just gonna let it sit out here until tomorrow. Then I will take a cloth. One of my canners I forgot to put the 2 tablespoons of vinegar in. So I'll just wipe off the jars and label them as such. And yay, bone broth, we did it.